Amin ya Allah. Thank you, Brother Uthman Hakim, for this amazing prayer, and we really appreciate it. So, in the 4 minutes left before we switch to the speaker, I would like to introduce the speaker to you. I mean, the speaker is already in the Google Meet, so I would like to talk a little bit about him. His name is Muhammad Nafiss bin Ridwan. He he has information system technology background in University of Technology Malaysia, and he worked as a software engineer and a penetration tester. So these are his experience, and he liked to conduct research, and he participated in a lot of local and international CDFs. So, Brother Nafis, the floor is yours. You can unmute yourself if you're ready. Thank you.
Hello. Hello, and Assalamualaikum and good morning to everyone. So my name, thank you, Abu Bakar. So I think without further ado, I can start the main agenda for today.
Yes, absolutely, sure.
Sure. So let me share my presentation. Can you see my screen? Hello?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
okay, thank you. All right, thank you. Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. First of all, thank you, UIA or IIM for inviting me to this talk. So the main topic for today is introduction to capture the flight. So I was expecting of the audience is a beginner level into CTF. So here is my main objective for this presentation, this talk. First of all, is who am I? I will introduce a bit of myself, and then I will go to what is CTF. So a bit of explanation or briefing about CTF, and then the type of CTF event, and then skill set that you need, and you will earn through the capture the flight. And then there's some variety of platform that you can try, and then the way you want to improve in CTF and benefit that you get from capture the flight as a student. And lastly is a Q&A session. So this introduction of myself, who am I? My name is Muhammad Nafiss Radzuan. So you have a internet name, or if you join to any event of cybersecurity, that we have a nickname. So I will put my name as a Ryan R4YY4N. And please don't Google it. And then here is my background of study. I'm doing my foundation and bachelor degree in information system at UTP, University of Petronas. Currently, I'm working as a security engineer, specifically in penetration testing. I have around 1.5 years working as a penetration testing in my role. So my hobby is travel, playing tennis, reading, and play FIFA on PC. So here is a little bit of my journey.
Excuse me, Brother Nafiss.
Yeah?
Your screen is not moving. It's still in the first
Seriously?
page.
All right, thank you. Sorry.
All right.
Let me. Is it moving?
Yeah, now the second page.
Yeah, is it at the who am I, right?
Yes, yes.
All right,
That's right.
okay, thank you. So I will continue it. So my journey began when I starting my internship as a software engineer intern at IBM on January 2018. On that time, I was involving much into hackathon, but during KPMG Cyber Technology 2018, there's another section on cybersecurity, KPMG cybersecurity. All the student is joining a CTF event, but on that time I never know what is CTF, so I just settle my work and go into the cybersecurity section and watch what people do in CTF, what is CTF, how they are getting into capture the flag. So what is the main objective of capture the flag? That's many question in my mind, and I saw, and I just go to talk with a few students there. They brief me a bit of CTF. On that time, the student give me one platform called CTF Learn. And after this event, I go to my room and keep, just open the CTF Learn and keep study about CTF Learn. And I find that this one is more interesting and pique my interest because mostly about puzzle and riddle. After I play around on CTF Learn around four months, and I try to explore myself into boot to root. I play around try me, and then after that, I go deeply into pen test at Hack the Box. My highest achievement at Hack the Box is third in Malaysia. After that, I involved in cybersec community. Mostly they are having on Discord. You can ask them a lot of questions, but don't be ashamed because they never know who you are. And
Uh,
then, yeah,
can you present the presentation in like a full screen?
I think so. Is it in full screen?
It's not.
Wait, stop sharing. Mm, No, I think. Wait. Currently is it in full screen?
I mean, like the full screen function for the PPTX.
Okay.
It's okay actually. You can just leave it. I mean, like you can click at is it F11 or F12, something like that.
Again?
F11. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, currently I on my
All
full
right, sure,
screen.
sure.
Okay.
Got it. Thank
But
you.
is it in your view? It's not in full screen.
It's okay. It's okay. You can just continue. Just it's okay.
Um, wait. Give me a second. Okay, so I think this is going to work. Sorry, I said this one. That. Look for this. Is it in full screen now?
Yes, now it is.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. Sorry about that. Okay, so I continue. Okay, after that I take part in a cybersec conference. You can. It's a bit lucky during COVID actually because most of the conference are doing on online, so you can take advantage by joining like DEF conduct annually, and ActivityCon is conducted by HackerOne if you are interested in more into web application security. And after that, I will join a local and international competition. And during I take around 1 year, 1 year and a half. After that, I try to apply and I got a job as a pen tester after 2 weeks after my graduated. So that's all about myself. I will continue on CTF. So I take a little piece of code online, allow your passion to become purpose, and it will one day become your profession. If you are doing anything with your passion, I think it was very good because you have no stress or not huge stress on yourself. So you will enjoy what you did. So here I will talk about I will starting to talk about CTF. So what is the CTF or introduction of CTF? I can say CTF is about gamified cybersecurity training. It's focusing, if you are in your daily life, I think it's more similar into puzzle or riddle. Means that it's more into how you solve that things and the way you think to solve that thing. It's more into problem solving question, and you need to think out of the box and become more creative, because there's many ways to solve the question. It's like you play puzzle. You can start at the edge of the puzzle, or you can start at the center point of the puzzle. It depends the way you solve it. This CTF have two section. They have two type of events. Sometimes it's open for students, sometimes it's open for professional, and most of the time it's an open competition. You can join for both. Um, when you are joining a CTF competition, you have individual and team event based. So I will highly recommend it for you to join for you to join team event based. Usually they have 3% in one team. So you can divide the question which based on the 3% expertise. For example, person A is good into forensic, and person B good into crypto, and person C good into web. So you can divide the question within the expertise. And then if you talk about capture the flag, it's more into hands-on practice. It's not like a normal lecture, or it's just about it's just about how you do it and how you deal with that question technically. And of course, when you did about this, it's more into like the more you do, the better you are. So I think you can apply this concept into when you learn a bit of programming or something more into maths and statistic study. So next is a type of CTF. So in the CTF event, you have two type of two type of CTF. First is Jeopardy. Jeopardy CTF is a normal CTF that you play around at CTF LAN, or whenever you join any CTF competition. Mostly it's play in Jeopardy style. Jeopardy style is about by submitting the flag and completing several tasks, you can earn point. Whenever they have a several section or several categories in the Jeopardy CTF, which I can explain after this. So you can earn a point by completing the task. Winner will be selected by the highest score and fastest submitting the flag. Because they have win an event, you can have around maybe 10 teams submitting the same flag and get same point. But the team who submit the first will be rewarded the first place compared to who submit the second flag. And in Jeopardy CTF, I think they have no skill and knowledge required. But if you have any skill in network, for example, or in programming, that was an advantage for you. And when we talk about attack and defense CTF, it's about compete with two or more team in different mission environment. So you spread between team A. For example, you are in team A, you need to attack and defend on the team B. So you need to defend your own service, and you need to attack the opponent services. So whenever you can steal the other opponent flag, you will earn point. And whenever the opponent can steal your flag, you will lose point. Each side will attack the security posture of the opposing team in order to point by submitting the flag. Yes, you need to defend your own services from attacker. And this thing will require skill and knowledge. You need to have a skill or an knowledge how you want to know if any attacker are try to attempt anything in your services, or you need to check the network log, for example, in the way of how in a way you want to know, oh, currently this service was attempt by this IP, so you need to keep this IP from the services. Next, okay, this I show you the example of Jeopardy scoreboard. This is on the scoreboard on the Hack 10 that handled by Unit 10 last 2 weeks. So this only this, I think this one is the simple thing. Only the place and then the team name and the scoreboard and the score. The score was calculated overall score by the point that they get from the categories of the submitting the flag. And this is an example of attack and defense scoreboard. This is the, I think this one on the attack and defense scoreboard. So there's a team, as you can see, like they have a team on number 18. Bantai saja is, I think it's a team from Indonesia. So this one, they have 6 services that they need to maintain, and the red color is the services that down, means that they be stolen by other attacker. The green color is the services that they manage to secure or to defend, and then the orange color means that the service have a maintenance issue or not stable, so they need to stabilize their services. Okay. Here is a category of Jeopardy. In a Jeopardy CTF, you have several category. So first is a forensic where you need to extract the data by analyzing the traces of information system. For example, you got in forensic, they can give you, sometimes they can give you a question, a picket file. Picket file is a network packet file that have a network analysis. You can check which IP talk to which IP, and then you need to analyze that picket file and get to know what the communication happened there. Sometimes they have a flag there. And cryptography is mostly they are related to cipher and some encryption. You will learn more into about how you want to decrypt and encrypt something. It's a low level cryptographic technique, but also error in the use of existing library. So you need to, the answer always usually in a decrypt and encrypted method. And then they have a category on web application. Web application is awareness of all OWASP identified issues that have an impact on website. For example, in this web application, they have a question that towards OWASP 10. OWASP 10 is a vulnerability that been top 10 prioritized. For example, they have a SQL injection, SQLI, cross-site scripting, maybe injection. For example, the question is about how you can manage to get the flag in the session cookies. And then they have reverse engineering. Reverse engineering, I can say, is among the high level question in Jeopardy CTF. They have algorithm application are studied to learn how they function. You need to reverse sometime in the Jeopardy CTF, they will give you a script, or they will give you a portable executable file or .exe. So you need to get to know what is the main function of this .exe file. So from that, there will be a flag there. But the way you retrieve, maybe you can use some tool, for example, DNSPY or IDA Pro, that help you to reverse the portable executable file or the .exe file. Did you clear on my presentation just now, or is it a bit too fast or too slow?
Clear.
Alright, okay, thank you. So next is binary exploitation. So binary exploitation is a technique for running binary program. So this one you need to know about programming. You need to know about programming language. So you will have to check the binary. What make this program exploit or buffer. So this thing is very rare to have in GeoPolyCTF because usually this category we have in professional level of Jeopardy CTF. Another thing is OSINT. OSINT is open source intelligence. On this category, you need to harvest the information from internet and open source. For example, in OSINT, they give you some hint, and from that hint, you need to Google it. Mostly, this OSINT you will play with Google most of the time, and sometimes if you have extra knowledge, you can try to use like for example, Shodan.io. Shodan is a good platform for data harvesting, or there's many things that you can perform with Shodan. Most often, according to the OSINT. Sometimes you can find any IP cam at Shodan if you have a good technique on that. And another thing is steganography. Steganography is a technique for hiding data in a text, picture, or data stream. On Stega, you will encounter like some tool called binwalk or stathard or ELIF tool. Most of the data will be hiding in the value of the image. For example, in the photo, there we have EXIF data. So in the EXIF data, they will have several information, or sometimes they will put the flag in the EXIF data. So the way you want to read it, you can have a tool like EXIF tool, called EXIF tool. Using that tool, you can retrieve the data that have been hidden in the EXIF data. And lastly is a programming. Programming is a development challenge. In a student level, they just have a simple programming, or in a simple scripting. I can say it's a scripting, how you want to sanitize the code, or how you want to deserialize the PHP, for example. So if you have a programming language, there will be advantage on you. So I take an example of reverse engineering challenge during FCQ CTF. Me and my team was joining the FCQ CTF. This one is on last year. For example, as you can see, here is a script. This is in PowerShell script. So if you have advantage to read the script, you know that the script is using base64 string. Means all of the red color here is in base64. Whenever we try to execute this script, we get output like this. Shell ID number 1 plus shell ID 13 plus X equal to IEX. So it takes some time to think how to solve it. And whenever we convert it into the script, and we call it around the page 1, and we execute the script, and we got it in this output. This output pay me 10 Bitcoin for answer. So we need to think and to be like out of the box how we want to retrieve what's the flag was hidden inside the script. So on another way, we try to custom a script. So to solve this challenge, after looking file, we find the compressed way. So we managed to create a simple script to compress the file and base64. So in this code, we have been declared this one using base64 data, and this one to put the base64 that we got from here, from this red color, and then we decode it into base64. And then from that we can, when we run this script, we put it the value of the basis 4 at the end, and we managed to get the output like this. And then we know there's some in FQCTF, it doesn't have a flag header, so it was just directly. So we know that this one could be the flag. And then yeah, we take it and we put it in the flag platform, and we managed to get the flag on the reverse engineering. And as example, this one is a bit I think is a bit easy to understand example. So this forensic challenge that they give in PCAP or PCAP PCAP file or packet analysis. PCAP file is a packet analysis for network. Whenever you want to check the network traffic or anyone requires between this IP going to this IP and what is the request IP did on our IP. So anything can be checked using PCAP file or some of the file called PCAP-ng file. So the two that frequently used is a Wireshark and T-Shark. But I will choose to use a Wireshark because I'm familiar with that. As you read the question here, a capture of flag. This is not what I had in mind when I asked someone to capture a flag. Can you help? You should check out Wireshark. So they give this file in mega transfer file. So when we download this file, we got a PCAP file. I can say on the first time I was getting the PCAP file, I was shocked because I don't know how to read this file. What is the entry point that I want to go first on this PCAP file, because they have a huge network traffic in this file. So the basic thing that you need to know here, so this one is number of traffic, sorting by numbering 1 to 10, 1 to 100, and this is the time, so the time that I'll be using, and then the source, which the source means that from which address or from which IP, from which server, and then the destination is to which server, to which IP. For example, my IP was 129.168.0.1. So the destination that I targeted, I want to penetrate the another IP like 200.121.1.131. So this is the destination IP. And then what protocol that I use? Maybe I'll penetrate using website, HTTP, or maybe I just use a simple TCP. Or sometimes maybe I use a FTP or SMB client. So the length is the length of the network, length of the file. And then this one is the type of traffic. See, ACK is acknowledge, and you need, whenever you learn about network, you can know a bit about the handshake, the network handshake, the three-way network handshake, all about that. Okay, but don't worry, you can go slowly about this. And there's some way how you want to get it, to learn this PCAP file in a simple way. So just right click to any file that you feel that was curious. For example, mostly in the HTTP or TCP, and you click the follow stream. Whenever you click the follow stream, it can throw any specifically data in the packet. So here, this is when you click the THP stream. So while you analyzing the packet, try to look something odd or something weird. Because in the flag, they will put in the packet data, the flag should be usually in a weird or in odd style. For example, in here you can see the get call was have a parameter, MSG parameter on, there's some maybe basic C4. So it doesn't make sense if you want to request on that things. So in this case, one particular word, a random looking string that doesn't any make sense. So when you read a lot of data, you will, and you can, when you read a lot of data or you play more hit the board, more CTF question, you will get the concept or you can get the pattern of the CTF question, CTF method approach how to solve that, and can get this flag. And then there's many ways how you want to decode the flag. For example, this one just using on the simple decode in Kali, or some of that you can use the decode from base 64. Sorry, you can use a online decoder in a cyber chef. Cyber chef is a good tool if you want to play around with many encryption. So when we decode, yeah, you got the flag. I think this one is the simple CTF question on the forensic. So I take another topics of code by the weekend. Once you learn to hit, teach yourself to never miss again. So there are many ways how you want to learn. Maybe you can learn the fundamental first and you hit and then learn again. But on my style, I prefer to just hit it, just have basic knowledge and go hit it. When you hit it, you will learn many things. Or maybe you do not have a basic of network or any, and you never know what is the IP table or that stuff. But whenever you learn CTF, you will get to know about it. Trust me on it. So I come to another agenda, skill set that you need and you earn from CTF. From CTF, when I first learned into CTF, I don't have any basic except a little bit of programming language because I was doing intern in software engineering intern. That's the only basic that helped me. So what you need, I think you need a patient and persistent, because when you learn CTF, passion is the most thing. You can ask many people who doing CTF, even though when they are 30 years old, they are still playing CTF because there's passion in that. And persistent, 30 years old playing CTF, I think it was like crazy. But they enjoy doing the CTF and puzzle games like CTF. And then continuous learning attitude. So in CTF, there's many approach. Maybe currently you just know about Stega, about crypto, but you never know incoming there's like a blockchain CTF. So the continuous learning attitude is very important. You can, if you want to learn more about blockchain CTF, there's a name called Smart Contract CTF. In the Smart Contract CTF, they explore more into the blockchain, specifically on Ethereum blockchain CTF. Other than that, you need to have a problem mindset. If you are easy to give up, I think you need to be more tough because it will manipulate your mind, and you need to have a good creative thinking and problem solving mindset. And lastly is a good chair. I don't call it good gaming chair, but not all gaming chair is good. But good chair is really important because you will invest your time is around 4 to 6 hours in front of the PC. Sometimes when you join CTF event, it was conduct in maybe sometimes in conduct in 24 hours or 12 hours. So you need to stay in front of the PC or in front of your machine for 12 hours or for the whole of the event, because whenever you left, your score will be down, and someone will catch up more score and continuously get more score. From my experience, what I learned when I go play around with CTF, I learned basic of knowledge of networking, subnet, TCP/IP, routing table, and similar of that. For example, I know how to. Before this, honestly, I never know how to change the IP to static IP. Honestly, but when I go to play around with TF, boot to root, and of course, whenever I learn how to this one is the way to change the static IP. Yeah, so when I go to work, that was very important. You want to know what is the IP using, what is the static IP, how do you want to make the dynamic IP become static. All of that I learned in CTF, and yeah, I learned the knowledge more about Linux command. Init command is very important if you actively in dev development mode. I think more often you will be using a Linux compared to Windows, depend on your environment. You have in installing and using tool. Most of the tools in CTF are using Linux. If you're familiar with Kali Linux, go and check and play around with Linux command. It's very helpful, especially when you're using Kali Linux, that's true. And lastly, you can earn knowledge of basic programming skill. Before this, I only good in two language. Not good. I can understand, can write a script or simple code in Python and Java. But when I go play around CTF, sometimes the question using a C language or C sharp, or sometimes it give you a question in many type of programming language. I can say you did not need a skill to write a code or write a script, but there was an advantage because when I starting to play CTF and get some achievement won some CTF, I don't read a code from Mindy from my scratch. No, I just go and take anything that I can get from Stack Overflow or GitHub. So I just edit the script and run it. Alhamdulillah, I managed to secure the place for the competition. But if you but I think it's important for you to learn how to read the code. Whenever you learn to read the code, you will know, oh, what is this code one? Which the main class? So what is the main class you want? And then main class call which another class. So what is in the private class did? That was really important for me. But in terms of writing a script, there was an advantage, not like a compulsory compared to read and understand the code. So if you want to jump into the play around with CTF, here is a CTF time. CTF time is it's a platform for any CTF event. Most often worldwidely will use this CTF time to host their tournament or their competition here. Most of overseas tournament, they don't need to pay any money, or they don't need you to pay any for registration or etc. But just free. So go on and find a team. Maybe you have a 3%, you can commit a team, or 2% also you can commit a team, and then join any event that you want. It doesn't have a specifically requirement to join it prerequisite, no. Just I think when you're young age, grab your time and go play around with many CTF. I think it was a very advantage for you. This is a platform for you to learn or to practice any challenge. So this is a CTF Learn. In CTF Learn, they will have a category of Jeopardy CTF that I explained to you before. You want to learn more into forensic, you want to learn more into like reverse engineering, or they have another categorized in miss or we call it as miscellaneous. You can go and play around with that. They have a question and they will also have a write up on it. If you are first time or you don't know how to solve it, it's okay. It's normal because sometimes I also stuck at the board. Sometimes 2 weeks or 3 weeks I can solve that. But at one point, if I think it wastes my time and too much investing time on this question, is okay. I try to learn it from right up. And then this is Hack the Box. Hack the Box is a good platform. Hack the Box is not focusing too much into CTF, but as you can see here, they have a challenge section. This challenge section is a good for you to practice CTF. In the machine section, it's a good for you to practice boot to root. And if you want to practice, we call it attack and defense mode, attack and defense CTF. Here, Hack the Box also have a good platform for you to practice for attack and defense CTF. They call it the headboard college battleground. Here, you can go to battleground and try to play around with a simple or basic of attack and defense CTF. It's very interesting. Another entry platform that you can join here is Try Hack Me. So in Try Hack Me, they have many ways of learning. You can learn more into CTF style. You can learn more into offensive pen test. You can learn into networking. You can learn into defensive security, offensive security. All of this they have in a Try Hack Me. I can say Try Hack Me is good for beginner, and Hack the Box is good for the medium level. If you have some knowledge, some skill, you can go to Hack the Box and go and try it, because the severity of Hack the Box mission is a bit higher compared to Try Hack Me. For example, if in Hack the Box is a medium question, maybe in a Try Hack Me it be in a hard level question. And then this is a Pontidon online. It's a free and you can publicly use. You can play around with you can brush your skill sometimes, mostly in a boot to root environment. This is good for medium level, but if you want to try, just go and try. Don't need to pay anything because it's just free. They will conduct a competition once in a year. You can grab a chance and join it, because it's very valuable for in your CV to put that you have participated in Pontidon competition, because people know the reputation of Pontidon competition very well in cybersecurity. So this next agenda, how you want to improve in CTF. In CTF, I can say you can improve it by involving for any conference, workshop and training. If you actively in Twitter, because most of cybersecurity people will actively in Twitter, and from Twitter they can bring you to the Discord or bring you to any. They have post any, or they have conduct any workshop or any free training. You can take advantage to join it, and then you can participate in local and international CTF, mostly free, because when you join more, you practice more, you will learn, or you can get the concept or you can get the pattern of the CTF question. Most of the, for example, I can take example for forensic. Most of the forensic question, if you join around 15 to 20 CTF, most of the question just similar. You just play around in the same scope. Trust me, you can get the pattern there. And then you need to always have your own write-up and write what you learn and you understand. So there's one bad habit when you always go for write-up. You just want to finish it and you don't want to understand how you solve it. This was not a good habit or not a good attitude. You try to answer it first. If you start, try to slowly go to the write-up and check the write-up. Oh, is it the right way that I did, or is the wrong way? What's the right way? How the owner of write-up got this from where? Why it got from here? You need to understand what you are doing, and then make sure you understand, and not just to finish the challenge. That was not a good habit, because it happened to me sometime when I was in the beginning of in the CTF. I just want to finish it, but I really want to understand it, because it's not an easy. So, but I think about, if I do it without understanding, so what the point that I doing the CTF question? It just waste my time. So I try to see people write up and use my own way to solve it, and write a write-up for myself. read and analyze other people write up because they're very good. Sometimes one question have many ways to solve it. For example, the question is about OSIN. They have many ways to solve the OSIN question. For example, you can solve it using Google. Some people solve it using Shodan. Maybe you did not know how to solve it using Shodan, and then you can go and see as people write out, oh, how these people solve using Shodan, and then from that you will learn something new. Join or create your own community. In Malaysia, they have many. I think they have several InfoSec community. In a big community, they can have like a nanosec, rosec. There was in a community on professional level, but in your beginner level, you can create your own community in your university. Maybe UAA can create your own Discord server for people who are interested in learning CTF, and then you can share anything there. It was very good. I think that was my mistake at first. I just learning for myself first, and then some people was asking me to join his community. I'm very thank you for him because he invited me to join his community, and I joined that community. From there, I learned many things. You can also share many things because you can see many people they have a many brain to solve that question. And then lastly, sharing the knowledge help you to gain more. Whenever you solve the answer, you can solve that question. Go and share with your friend, with your teammate. That was good learning method because people can learn from others, and you also can improve your understanding on that question. So I have several. The way of you have your own write-up is very important. So here I have a suggestion for you. If you want to, you want to follow, it depend on your interest because everyone have your own different way to write up. So there is my lovely write up or my favorite place to write up. I using Notion. So Notion is a free when you are using .edu email or you are using educational email. It gives you a free for pro version. You can use it for free. You have many features in here. You can use it the write up. You can use the Notion in your PC, and it also have mobile apps for Notion. Maybe you can refer your notes in your phone. It also can be doing that. So Notion is very, very good for you to place a write up. You can convert it into HTML. You can convert it into PDF. You want to share with anyone, or you can, if the other person have the Notion also, you can share the link with your team. This is the second choice that you can use. We call it as Obsidian. Obsidian is writing in Markdown language. If you want to pose it or you want to the advantage of using Obsidian, whenever you want to push your node to the GitHub, it was very easy. You can just push straight away when you are using Obsidian. And the advantage whenever you have a photo or any image you want to paste it, you just paste it, and it will also pop up in the GitHub. But that's not my favorite. Sorry, I forgot to say, Obsidian also is free to use. And this is another place you can write up. We call it a cherry tree. So whenever you ask a senior person or senior painter who are working in a cybersec industry around 20 years or 15 years, they are always prefer to use cherry tree. I'm not sure why, but it's a bit classic. And then you can sort it by, you can categorize the type of section in the cherry tree. And the file format is .ctb. You can convert it also in a PDF or any HTML, but you cannot upload it in GitHub directly. Only Obsidian can use it if you want to create it to GitHub. Or another things like a Joplin also can use it. Different source of walkthrough have a different solution. Like I said to you before, I will really recommend to you to see more than one solution for a question. Because for example, when you see here, there was a question that people solve it. This person you use to solve the crypto challenge using a cipher in CyberChef. And this is another paper who solved the question using same question but in a different way. It used to combine two type of base 85 and base 58 using a CyberChef, but it also get the same flag. Here also you only have put into base 85 and 58. You also have got the same flag. So from here, the final answer was the same answer, but the method or their approach was different. The important is you get the flag, but you need to know the process to get the flag. If you get another maybe you have tried method A to get the flag, and the other people try to use method B or C. So you can learn how to use the method B or C, because for example, maybe in the other CTF, your method A cannot be worked and method B or C is working. So you can play around with another method. That was a good learning way, good learning approach. You can have in cybersec, if you want to go deeper in cybersecurity, I can say social media and community are very helpful, seriously very helpful. I also got my job through my community. So my member refer me to another company because they know my reputation and they know how able I can deliver the work. You can have a Discord. Here I can say Discord. In Discord, you can join the Discord of server for Hack the Box and for example, if you are interested in web application, you can join HackerOne server. It's a big deal. Advantage of you join the community, for example, you have a machine on Hack the Box. And when you play with the machine at the box, you start with some place. For example, you didn't got the initial foothold in the machine. So you can go to the box server and post a question there. Hi, I still stuck in the foothold for machine A. Can anyone that can ping or can anyone that can help me? And then trust me, there's many people will reply to your question, and some people will say like, oh, you can ping me for this question, and then they will help you. Don't worry, and don't be ashamed because they never know you in physically. It's okay, because most of the people and me myself, when first time when I want to ask question in a community server, I'm very shy to ask question. But it's not a good way. But whenever I try to ask one or two question, I think like, wow, okay, they answer my question. That was good. So I always keep asking people in Headbox if I start. And same goes to HackerOne. If I did bug bounty program or I did more into web pen test, I can earn some side income in HackerOne. Sometimes I ask people if I got stuck in, for example, in SQL injection, I using the parameter, this parameter. Maybe some people will answer your question, or maybe you can try to use this word list for the parameter. So and all that time we got the different perspective of answer. In cybersecurity, it also famous in their community also have always post anything in Twitter, most often in the Twitter. Maybe in nanosec also they will post any event that they will be doing in the Twitter, and then any training or workshop, maybe they have any people who maybe like an icon in cybersecurity have a post oh, currently I conduct a free training or free workshop for you, or maybe they provide a free coupon for you to learn. So you can go and play around with that. So for example, war games. So I think in the 16th of December, war game was conducted a CTF event. I hope you guys already registered for the war game CTF. It was very nice and challenging CTF. Good for you to learn something there. It was very interesting. Here, benefit when you join the CTF. When you join CTF, you have a hands-on experience before you jump into industry. Hands-on experience is very important because your manager just want to know, can you deliver that work? Can you doing that work? That was very important. And other than that, you can make a lot of friends. You can increase your network. When you have your own team, when you challenge the another team, you can have different kind of people and different of network. Maybe the other people can help you for anything in career. That was very important for you. Other than that, you can enhance your technical skill and problem solving. Your technical skill also depend on is good when you involve in CTF, because CTF have a broad skill. For example, you are very interested passionate in website, in web pen test. You need to be good in the web category for CTF, Jeopardy CTF, because that was very helpful for you. If you can solve all the question in the web, maybe, yes, you are good enough to try into web pen test. And another example, like you are very good in forensic, you are very good in analyzing data, analyzing backup data, you are very good in in dig into more information in the audio file, or you can know who is taking this photo in the exit data. That was very good. Maybe that one you are good into defensive side, more into analyst. Maybe you can go for cyber threat intelligence, or maybe you can go for cyber forensics. Other than that, you get chances to win a prize. If you go to big event, it might be hard. But if you go to the local event, and for example, oh, this team is not joining this competition, so you can try and join. Maybe it's chances for you to win a prize there. Usually they've been more, if a CTF like war games, they give you like 1,000 ringgit for that prize. And lastly, it's very important, your portfolio will be very valuable. Even though I just starting in cybersecurity just around 1 year and a half, not even though in my bachelor of degree, but my portfolio helped me a lot got me to secure my job in penetration testing as my first entry level in a career. You can build up your portfolio in a LinkedIn for sure. I hope everyone have a LinkedIn account. Whenever you join a CTF event, or whenever you have something good to share, just post it in the LinkedIn. Don't be shy. Try to connect with company recruiter. It also helpful. And then whenever you have a good thing, or you want to share your write up based on any CTF you join, you can post it in the GitHub, and make sure you put your link and GitHub link in your CV. Other than that, your TrackMe account was helpful when you have a good rank. Same goes to Headerbox, because it was just related TrackMe and Headerbox. But most of the company have a good reputation when they saw you have a good achievement in Headerbox compared to TrackMe. That was serious to say. If you want to explore or earn some side income by find a box in another people's website legally with their permission, you can use Bugcrowd and HackerOne. I active in the Bugcrowd. You can earn side income from there. maybe when you reported some low level vulnerability, you can get $50 for free. $50 to $100. It depends on the severity itself. I guess that's it for my side. Thank you UAE for having me in this talk. I would really appreciate it. So if you have any inquiry related to cybersecurity career, CTF, book to root, or you want to find any CTF you want to join, you can in local in Malaysia, you can directly to ping me on my Twitter. Don't be shy, my Twitter is public. Nafiss_Radzuan, or you can also go to my LinkedIn, Nafiss-Radzuan. I always active there, and I always open-handed to involve with students who want to grow their career in cybersecurity. That's all from my side. Thank you. So I open the floor for the Q&A session. If you have any question regarding to the scope.
Thank you very, very much, Brother Muhammad. Okay, so actually, like before the Q&A session, we would like to have a 10 minutes break.
All right, sure, no issue.
Yeah, so we will be back by 11:10, inshallah.
All right. Have a good rest. Have a good short break. You know.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah. Okay, so we are back from our 10-minute break, and now we're gonna start the Q&A session. So if any of you has a question to ask the speaker, please you can type it. You can share it in the chat box, and then I will be picking the questions so that the speaker can answer them.
Yeah, you can ask in the chat box for any question that related to the CTF or any pen test, career growth, cybersec career growth, you can ask.
Okay, so we have a question from a participant that is asking, by joining the CDF competition, could that boost his resume?
Okay, thank you for the question. So based on my own experience, yeah, it's really help in the boost on your resume. If you joining any CTF, it doesn't care if you be a champion or top 3 or not. But if you joining have a technical experience hands on that, it's very helpful. What you can carry on the skill, for example, in your when you get into any job that have related to the technical skill on your CTF, the company will test you. And I believe if you doing that CTF, you can able to tackle that question easily. And yeah, it's very helpful.
Okay, so and then we have another question that is saying, how long would a typical CDF take, and how much practice would you do per week?
Per week, um, thank you for the question. So if you're asking me per week, during my university, I start play CTF after my internship. I pursuing my final year in UTP. After internship, you need to go back to UTP for final year. So during final year, almost every night I spend my time around around 3 hours in a day to practice CTF at CTF Learn. So I try to make a schedule. For example, today I want to specifically more into web, and other than for tomorrow I will go specifically on forensic, for example, and then the time will more. For example, you plan for 3 hours, but if you cannot solve it for 3 hours, if you got passion to do that question, it will take you. It will take another hours for you. Like maybe maybe you need 4 to 5 hours to solve the question. But if you don't passionate enough, we say like, I think that's enough for me. I want to sleep. That's it. You
Okay,
yeah.
yeah. Okay, so basically, like, from your experience, you think like 3 to 4 hours should be enough, like every day, right?
Yeah,
All right, thank
but
you.
make sure you have a you get a good sleep lah. For me, you make sure you be productive, because in my experience, some of my friend always having a time in front of the laptop of the PC. Maybe I can say more to 8 hours straightly in front of the PC. But I think it was not a good habit to practice for it.
Okay, okay, I understand, and I hope this answers the question.
Yeah, thank you.
And someone is asking, could you please share some usernames in Twitter, or like to get to serial information and stuff?
For Twitter, okay, I can specifically list my Twitter. Let's go Razan, my LinkedIn. can go around. It's my Twitter and LinkedIn. You can usually on LinkedIn and Twitter. I will actively on LinkedIn and Twitter.
Okay, so I hope the person that asked this question, please check the chat box. The username already been shared. So we're gonna move on to the next question.
All right.
So the next question, it says that how do you actually remember what you did, and then at the end of the CDF, then you can write the whole write up. So is it like doing it again after the competition, or you do it the same time while you're playing?
Sorry again for the question. The
The,
last sentence.
yeah, the question say, how did you actually remember what you did to write the write up for the whole CDF? Is it
Mm,
like doing the CDF again after a competition, or you do the CTF and then the write up all together at once?
okay. I will prefer you on my own way. I will do the CTF, solve the question, and anything important words or any important things, I will put it in my write up, but not completely. I just put it like, for example, wow, this is a new cipher. I never encountered this cipher before. So I just put it in my laptop. I just put the mostly I put the snapshot of that method to solve it. And then after finish that question, after finish all the CTF event, usually the organizer will ask for you to submit the write up. Yeah, you can write a write up after the competition, because on the competition you will focusing on time consuming compared to writing a write up.
All right, thank you for the answer. I hope this answered the question. Okay, so we go to the next question. Someone is asking, is there a specific curriculum or like a practice to the best method? And please do share the slides for the website you mentioned.
Please share the slide.
Uh,
Please share.
for the slides,
I think I will share to you.
for the slides you already been shared the slide. We will share the slides later, but for the specific curriculum and the practice, like did you have anything to say about that?
What you mean by specific curriculum?
Okay, so from what I understand from the question, like for example, like like if you want to be like a data scientist, then you have to go and study like
Oh,
Python,
all right, okay.
like
Yeah,
databases and all those things. So and for like CTF, like is there like a specific requirement to that?
it doesn't have any specific requirement because CTF is a broad. You will encounter a network question, or you will encounter a programming question. You will encounter the network analysis question. It's a broad, but whenever you answer that question, you will learn something. But if you're talking about in the career, when you're focusing on for example, you're working on offensive security like penetration tester, most of the thing that we encounter, you need to know how to read codes, or you need to know more into basic networking, not detailed networking, basic networking, because you need to know how to read example how the network is going on there. If you are talking about compared to data science, you need to good in maybe R language, maybe Python, but in this TCF, you need to be good in the logic. Yeah, same like programming, I guess.
Okay, thank you. I hope this answered the question. And so we're gonna move on to the next question. The next question, like someone is asking, please could you share your PC setup?
Setup,
Yeah, like your CDF setup.
CTF setup. if you're talking about CTF setup, I will run virtual machine. I will have a question asking about recommended. Is it recommended to use VM? Yes, I say it's very recommended to use VM. I will prefer to use a VM. It doesn't matter want to use a VMware or VirtualBox, but my preferable is to use a VMware. In the VMware, I install two VM. One is Kali Linux or Kali Linux, and another VM is a Windows machine. Windows machine you can get the serial key for free if you have education email in the Microsoft Azure. They have a free serial key there. And some question like forensic reverse engineering is be good for you to using Windows because it was much easier for you to get the answer. And the question like some question like web. So for the website, it's be good for you to use Kali Linux because it's more because the tools or and library was built in there. In terms of my PC, uh, I'm using like um, NVIDIA RTX 360 and then uh, 30 I think uh, 32 gig RAM all that stuff. But please don't follow that. It's not necessary. You can have you can just using it by 16 gig also enough for your RAM. Not too huge. Not spending much on your graphic card because if you don't brute force or you don't fuzzing too much, it's really not necessary for you to have a good GPU. But it depend when you it's change when you are in the career career environment. You need have to good GPU because anything you fuzzing or anything you brute force, it will require it from your GPU. Yeah, that's my answer.
Yeah, Oral, thank you for the answer. I hope this is make it clear for the participant. And someone is asking, is there any tips in learning Kali for SQL injection?
Oh yeah, for SQL injection, learning Kali for SQL injection. I guess learning about SQL injection. So in SQL injection, you can go to the Portswigger Academy. It's a free platform for you to learn SQL injection. You need to know in the SQL injection, you need to know which endpoint that you are targeting. First, you need to test the endpoint. Commonly, you will test it using single quote. Is the single quote can break this query or not? If you test the single quote and it can break a query, means that is a high potential you can break into SQL injection. If you want, for me, there's many type of SQL injection. You have a time-based, boolean-based. You have you can test it by sleep. The SQL query. You can learn all of this in Portswigger Academy. Portswigger Academy is a company that produce a tool called Birdsuite. That was I think that platform was very interesting if you want to learn the basic of SQL injection. And then after you learn the basic of SQL injection, you want to practice your knowledge. You can find any machine in TryHackMe. In TryHackMe, there's some machine that you need to counter the machine using SQL injection. That's the way you need to practice. But I highly recommend it for you to start learning SQL injection in a manually, not just using SQL map or any automation tools. Because whenever you learn manually, you will know, oh, how this work, why it's like this, why it's important for you to use just a single quotes, not double quotes. You can answer all the why question there when you practice manually. I hope this answer the question.
Yeah, me too. I hope it does.
All right.
Okay, so thank you very, very much, Brother Nafiss, for this amazing speech. And we really appreciate your time and we hope in the future when we are conducting the CTF, we might ask you for like a question or two to add it in the competition.
Yeah, sure. No issue for that.
All right, thank you so much.
All
And
right.
then and now we will go and then now we will switch to the prayer reciter.
All right,
You
okay.
can unmute yourself, please, and give us a closing prayer.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your time.
Bismillah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Wal 'asr innal insana lafi husr illa allazina amanu wa 'amilus solihati wa tawassaw bil haqq wa tawassaw bis sabr. Amin.
All right, thank you, everyone. So this comes to the end of today's session. We would like to I'd like to say thank you to the all participants for your time and for your understanding at the beginning that we have the technical difficulties, and we hope inshallah that won't happen again. So thank you all.
Thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, thank you, Nafiz. Thank
Alright,
you,
sure,
Waka
welcome.
and committee.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your time. Enjoy your weekend.